So thank you all for joining us today for this parent meeting.
Muchísimas gracias por reunirse a todos en esta reunión de padres, información general que el doctor Shelton Mooney está dando este día.
And also on the line, for those of you who are calling in, we have Miss Matus, who is doing the translation for us, and Miss Black, who is the administrative secretary at BCC, who is managing the meeting.
En este momento nos está acompañando la señora John Black, que es la secretaria administrativa de la escuela y que está ayudando a manejar la reunión. Y yo soy Sonia Matus, que tengo el gusto de apoyarlo a la comunidad hispana traduciendo.
So I do have a presentation that I am going to work through. I will read the presentation as it's written, and then Ms. Matus will translate. I will add some other statements, but it will be available on YouTube later today.
Él se va a apoyar con una presentación que va a ser su guía para toda la reunión y voy a tener el gusto de estar trasladando o traduciendo al idioma español cada una de las láminas.
So again, just as a reminder, we are recording this meeting and it will be posted online later.
Como un recordatorio nuevamente, se les informa que esta reunión se está siendo grabada y que podría ser publicada en YouTube o en los medios en línea para los padres que no puedan asistir.
So today I am going to share some information about the school closure announcement, talk about Chromebooks, advanced placement exams, grades for marking period 3 and for marking period 4, and answer a few questions that were submitted by parents.
Los temas que se van a tratar el día de hoy es el cierre de la escuela. También se hablará sobre la distribución de los Chromebooks, sobre las calificaciones del Marking Period 3 y las calificaciones también del Marking Period 4. También va a responder preguntas previas que han sido enviadas por los padres.
So on Wednesday, Dr. Karen Salmon, who is the state superintendent of schools, announced that schools will be closed for the remainder of the year. That does mean that for MCPS students, June 15th will be the last day, and we will be working through June 15th in distance learning.
La doctora Karen Salmon anunció que las escuelas estarán cerradas por el resto del año escolar. Esto significa que se va a seguir trabajando en línea y el último día de clases va a ser presentado para el 15 de junio.
So that leaves us with some questions about what is going to happen with items such as graduation, questions about how students will get to the things that they need to get, such as caps and gowns, or how we might get back textbooks from students or Chromebooks, and how we're going to handle other things such as student government elections that might need to happen at the end of the school year.
Esto significa que debe haber información y va a proporcionar información sobre la graduación, también las capas, los gorros, los birretes, cómo va a ser la devolución de los libros, las Chromebooks, otras actividades de fin de año como la elección del estudiante que va a estar en la junta directiva de la escuela.
So if we think about what we know at this point, graduation is still undecided. MCPS will announce at some point this week, they've told us, which I hope is then today, what the plans will be for the entire county. In terms of other distribution and collection, we still are not allowed to do that because of the governor's stay-at-home order. But once that is safe to do, we will figure out a plan for that. And other year-end functions, we'll begin working on how we will figure those out. Whether we do them electronically or whether we wait to do them when we return to school.
Hablando sobre la graduación, todavía no se tiene una fecha, se está esperando que en CPS lo dé por determinado, podría ser esta semana. También las preguntas relacionadas a cómo será la distribución de las gorras y los birretes y todo el material está pendiente porque no se tiene la normalidad. Al tenerlos, va a haber un anuncio de cómo serán distribuidos y las demás actividades están pendientes de definirse si serán en línea o cómo se van a manejar tan pronto se tenga un plan.
The next item I want to talk about is Chromebook and Wi-Fi hotspot distribution. BCC is distributing Chromebooks and hotspots every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at school.
Otro tema de lo que se está hablando ahora es la distribución de las computadoras laptop y el acceso a Internet para cada una de las computadoras. Esto está siendo distribuido a través de BCC. Todos los días martes de 9 a 3 p.m. están siendo entregadas en la escuela a los estudiantes que lo necesiten.
So we do have a good supply right now of Chromebooks. So we can have people just show up to get them. But we do ask that you call ahead or contact your grade level administrator if you think you might need one so that we can make sure that we have one available.
Se tiene una buena cantidad de Chromebook para la disposición de los estudiantes, para que cuando se presenten a pedirlas el día martes entre 9 y 3, pero se recomienda que si pueden enviarle un correo y coordinar con el asistente del director o el asistente de grado, pueda hacer una cita previa.
Also, I just want to remind everyone that if you're having trouble with your Chromebook or your Wi-Fi, that there is a phone number that MCPS has established. That phone number is 240-740-7022. And if you call, you'll actually have the opportunity to leave a message, and then someone will call you back with that support. And if the message is in Spanish, someone who speaks Spanish will call you back to support you.
Otro recordatorio es que si usted está teniendo problemas con la Chromebook o la laptop o con el Wi-Fi o el Internet, por favor llame al centro que MCPS ha determinado para atención de problemas. El teléfono es el 240-740-7022. Deje mensaje y ellos le van a retornar su llamada en español para que usted pueda solventar cualquier problema.
Next, we're going to talk about advanced placement exams, which begin on Monday. There are students who are registered for exams, but maybe choosing not to take them. And I just want to remind everyone not to access the exam if you are not planning to take it. You may receive the link, but do not click on the link unless you plan to take the exam because that exam does cost $98 and we won't be able to refund the money if the exam is opened at all.
Otro recordatorio es que el día lunes van a comenzar los exámenes de AP. Si hay estudiantes que están registrados, pero que han decidido no tomar el examen, por favor, no ingrese al link. No haga clic en el enlace que está en internet, aunque tenga el acceso, porque a la escuela le estará cobrando $90 por cada examen. Y es importante que si ha decidido no tomarlo, pues que no haga clic en el enlace que le permite tomar dicho examen, aunque esté registrado.
So the next item is really talking about if your child received an incomplete grade for the third marking period. There were some students who didn't submit work, and we needed to figure out what they would need to do to pass the third marking period. BCC has determined that for seniors, we need to take care of those grades by next Friday, which is May 15th. And for underclassmen, they need to be taken care of by May 22nd. That gives us a few weeks to do this. What that means is that each teacher will work with a student to develop a plan to remove the incomplete. So they'll figure out what assignments are necessary and when those assignments have to be completed. If you know that your child received an incomplete, please talk to your child to ask them about the plan that they have with the teacher. And if they don't have one, please reach out to the teacher.
Va a hablar en este momento sobre algunos estudiantes probablemente han recibido la calificación o la opción de incompleto. Esto se refiere que en el período 3 han habido estudiantes que han recibido la calificación o la asignación de incompleto. Esto es muy importante porque se ha tomado una decisión en la escuela de que se van a crear planes alternativos o planes de trabajo directamente con los profesores para que esta asignación o calificación pueda ser cambiada completo. Para eso hay fechas límites. Para los estudiantes de último año o senior será el 15 de mayo y para el resto de los estudiantes será hasta el 22 de mayo. Si usted como padre de familia ha recibido o ha visto que su hijo o hija tiene esa opción o esa calificación de incompleto, por favor, hable con ellos y es importante que el estudiante se ponga en contacto con el maestro para desarrollar un plan de trabajo lo más pronto posible y completar la opción y cambiarla a completo.
For the fourth marking period, now that we are in the fourth marking period, I want to make sure that everyone understands how we are assigning grades for the fourth marking period, because MCPS did decide that the fourth marking period would be a pass or incomplete grading system. So teachers are continuing to give 1 or 2 assignments every week, and those grades are going to be entered in the grade book just as they would always have been. Also, go ahead.
Hablando sobre las calificaciones del periodo 4, aquí hay algunas orientaciones de parte de BCC. Los maestros imparten entre 1 y 2 asignaciones muy importantes durante la semana y estas deberán ser registradas y completadas. ¿Cómo se está evaluando ahora? De parte de NCPS es con pasó o está incompleto. Así que es importante que cada estudiante se contacte con el maestro y cumpla con las asignaciones. Go ahead.
Thank you. So teachers will also work to give students the feedback on the work that they're doing through comments or individual check-ins, and they'll use the same systems that they've been using up till now, whether that's through email, through one of the classrooms, MyMCPS or Google, through Zoom sessions or comments in the gradebook.
También los profesores van a continuar dando comentarios o retroalimentaciones significativas a los estudiantes con respecto al trabajo que están haciendo y esto lo van a hacer a través de correos electrónicos de la plataforma de MyNCPS, de Google Classroom, Zoom o cualquiera otro de los medios que está utilizando el profesor actualmente para contactar al estudiante.
For the fourth marking period, MCPS did send out over the weekend guidance on what it will take for a student to pass. So they sent a chart with 4 options in that, and a student will have to earn a grade of pass by meeting at least 2 of those measures.
NCPS ha dado alineamientos para el periodo 4, para el marking period 4, de cómo se van a obtener las evaluaciones. Y para esto el estudiante debe de pasar al menos 2 de los siguientes criterios que se van a describir a continuación.
The first measure is assignment completion, and that means that a student completes assignments on a consistent basis, which is at least 50% of the assignments.
Finalización de las tareas, el primer criterio. Debe completar las tareas de forma coherente y consistente, por lo menos dar un 50% de la tarea asignada.
The second measure is a measure of content and skills, and that means that the student demonstrates understanding of concepts or skills on assignments turned in through grades, scales, or other rubrics.
El otro criterio es contenido y habilidades. Demostrar la comprensión de los conceptos o las habilidades adquiridas durante las asignaciones o tareas asignadas a través de las escalas de evaluación que el profesor va a estar llevando.
The third measure is engagement, and that means that students consistently engage in learning by attending scheduled teacher check-ins, ongoing communication with the teacher, and other activities such as discussion boards or digital classroom activities.
El otro criterio es el compromiso del estudiante que tiene con su profesor de participar constantemente en los programas, de hacer sus check-ins cada día y mantener una comunicación en todas las actividades o foros de discusión que el profesor señale.
And the fourth measure is teacher professional judgment, and that means that the teacher, based on everything that the student has done for the marking period, the evidence and the holistic view, will look for ways to have this benefit the student.
El último criterio es el juicio del profesor que tiene en una forma profesional sobre la base de la cantidad de pruebas o tareas entregadas o interacción que ha tenido. Él va a tener un desarrollo, el profesor va a estar constantemente monitoreando y va a dar un criterio profesional para saber si el estudiante ha cumplido con lo asignado durante la clase.
So again, students only have to meet 2 of those criteria to earn a grade of passing.
Para pasar, el estudiante debe tener por lo menos 2 de estos 4 criterios para poder ser aprobado.
MCPS is still working to determine what transcript grades will look like after the 4th marking period.
NCPS está todavía trabajando para saber cuál va a ser el impacto en el expediente o récord académico de los estudiantes. Al tener información se comunicará.
There are 4 options that they're looking at, and MCPS has a video that they have created about this. I'm going to play the video. For those of you who are listening on the phone, it is available on the MCPS website, and I can send out that link. It is, for those of you who are watching, I will turn on the Spanish subtitles.
NCPS por lo menos tiene 4 criterios de impacto por ahora. El doctor Mooney va a presentar un video por parte de MCPS donde explica estos 4 criterios y al mismo tiempo cuando lo proyecte, él va a poder la traducción simultánea a través de subtítulos en español. Y también pueden encontrarlo en NCPS el video dándole un search, una búsqueda, perdón.
Okay, give me just a moment to turn that on.
Un momento para poder
These are extraordinary times in education. These are extraordinary times in education. This is our new normal of how we are doing teaching and learning, and we also need to find this new normal of what grading looks like in our classrooms. The traditional precise way of how we measure grades with points and percentages, in this new normal, we're really beginning to think about it differently, which is why we've developed an initial framework for a pass or incomplete for this marking period, for marking period 4. But a semester grade is really important. A semester grade is what gets factored into a cumulative grade point average, or a GPA, which colleges do look at when students apply to college. The semester grade is the one that's counted on, that is listed on the high school transcript. So the way it works is the marking period 3 grade is combined with the marking period 4 grade to create that semester grade, which again is the one that counts for GPA and is posted on the high school transcript. There are many different ways to get to that semester grade that matters for GPA. One is a universal pass or incomplete. That would be the same letter grade for all students across the district. Colleges have actually said that they understand the extraordinary nature of this pandemic and understand that not all school systems will be giving letter grades this semester. But we've heard a lot of feedback from our community about the importance of letter grades, the importance of GPA, and there are options to actually to calculate a semester grade in different ways that uses a letter grade. One option is to look at where a student was at the end of the 3rd marking period. Take the 3rd marking period grade, a pass for the 4th marking period. That could then lead to a semester letter grade that is where it was as of the end of the 3rd marking period. So another factor to consider is that some students feel like the grade at the end of the 3rd marking period was not necessarily representative of their work throughout the quarter, particularly the way schools closed abruptly and the way that we ended the marking period in a remote learning model. So another option is to give students a bump up from where the grade was at the end of the 3rd marking period. For example, take the letter grade for marking period 3, pass marking period 4, and that results in 1 letter grade higher than where it was at the end of the 3rd marking period. In fact, our current grading system actually does that now, where if you earn an A for the 1st marking period of a semester and a B for the 2nd marking period of a semester, the final semester grade is actually the A for the semester. So it would be in line with some of our current practices. Another way to do it is to have a hybrid, an option, a choice of a pass or incomplete or letter grade, whichever scenario is in the best interest of the student. So these are all the factors to think about in the recommendations that will be going forward to the Board of Education. Everything from a universal pass and complete for all students to all the different ways to calculate a semester grade. Because we have heard from our community that a letter grade is important to our students. It does matter for GPA. So we are looking at all of these different factors and bringing recommendations to our board next week.
So thank you all for bearing with me through that. In terms of
presentar el video.
I did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Murphy earlier this week, and he shared that MCPS is not sending out a formal survey to determine parents' preferences amongst those 4 options, but families, parents, and students are welcome to share their input by sending an email to askmcps@mcpsmd.org.
Él ha tenido la oportunidad de hablar con el señor Murphy y dice que manifiesta que MCPS no enviará una encuesta formal con relación a este tema, pero las familias son bienvenidas a poder dar sus comentarios enviando un correo electrónico a askmcps@mcpsmd.org.
So I have a few questions that parents have asked, and some of these actually I've already talked about, but I want to come back to them again. The first question is there an update on the status of graduation?
Tiene algunas preguntas recibidas por los padres, la va a retomar nuevamente, y la primera pregunta es que si hay alguna actualización sobre la graduación.
MCPS is supposed to announce a decision this week about how graduations will be handled, and it will be the same decision for the entire district, so we're still waiting to hear specifics on that issue.
NCPS tiene programado dar esta información la próxima semana. Se recuerda que todas las decisiones con respecto a la graduación será para todas las escuelas, no para una. Estamos a la espera de oír la respuesta o la información.
Another question that we've been asked is how will yearbooks, caps and gowns, and other previously ordered items be distributed?
Otra pregunta que ha recibido es cómo va a ser la distribución de los anuarios, la toga, el birrete y los artículos que han sido previamente ordenados.
At this time, some of these items we don't have because they haven't been delivered since schools have been closed, but other items that we do have, we cannot deliver because of the governor's stay-at-home order.
A este momento, algunos artículos no se han recibido, no se tienen algunos, otros no, pero no se pueden distribuir hasta que no se quite la orden por parte del gobernador para poder actuar en normalidad y enviarlos.
As soon as we have a plan for these items, we will communicate that with parents and students.
Tan pronto como se tenga un plan para distribuir todos estos ítems, será comunicado a los padres y a los estudiantes.
And the last item is that I just want to make sure that everyone knows who they can contact if they have questions. You can always reach out to me, but if you have a student who's in the 12th grade, you could reach out to Mr. Levine, 11th graders, Mr. Nelson, 10th graders, Ms. Sutton, and 9th graders, Dr. McGarwa. You could also reach out to teachers at any point, and everyone's email address is available on the BCC website. And if you need to call, the school's main number is the messages are being checked several times a day.
Otro recordatorio, le quiere estar seguro de que usted sabe a quién contactar si tiene alguna pregunta. El primer punto de contacto puede ser el Dr. Mooney, el director. Para los estudiantes de 12 grado, Sam Levine, el el señor Nelson para los estudiantes del 11º grado, la señora Sutton para el 10º grado, el doctor Munguera para el 9º grado. Todos los correos electrónicos están disponibles en BCC High School, pero también pueden encontrar todos los correos electrónicos de cada uno de los profesores en la sección de staff.
So at this time, the presentation is over, but since there are only 3 of you on the line, if anyone has any specific questions that they would like to ask, we can take those questions at this time.
A este momento la presentación por parte del Dr. Mooney ha terminado. Vista que hay 3 participantes, le gustaría saber si hay alguna pregunta de parte de alguno de ustedes.
No.
¿Aló?
Sí.
Yo tengo una pregunta. ¿Hay una razón por la cual las profesoras no hacen las clases en vivo o no hacen instrucción, por lo menos grabadas, a donde los chicos la puedan acceder? Hay profesoras que lo hacen, pero hay otras que no. Y quería saber por qué no había más consistencia con, por lo menos una vez a la semana, que hagan una clase grabada para que los chicos puedan ver lo que hubiesen visto si hubiesen asistido al colegio.
Perfecto. Y la madre pregunta que si there is some reason that the teachers, they don't record the classes or they have a live class and maybe one in a week, because it's interesting to have this kind of classes preview recorded or online, like via Zoom or another. She's asking why some teachers are doing, but she has another teacher that's not doing that. She wants some clarification. Why don't I have the same rule for everybody?
So we're allowing teachers to work in the same platforms that they were using before, and everyone is not comfortable with the technology or proficient in the technology. I'm just pausing this, Matu, so I don't want to give you too much to do there. So.
Okay. Manifiesta el Dr. Mooney de que se permite a los profesores que puedan interactuar en las plataformas que ellos se sienten más confortables. No todos son más confortables o usan mejor la tecnología, pero es una decisión y se les ofrece de ellos y la plataforma que están usando.
We're also trying to make sure that we balance the needs that students, families, and teachers have. So we're not requiring anyone to have live sessions. Pre-recorded sessions are good, but we're also not requiring anyone to have those.
También se trata de mantener un balance entre los estudiantes y los profesores de acuerdo a los recursos que dispone cada quien, pero él ve con de muy buena manera el grabar videos previamente.
But if there are teachers that your child is not hearing from at all in any format, I do ask that you please let me know so that I can follow up on that.
Pero si no ha habido ninguna respuesta, dependiendo de los coordinadores de profesores o de profesores que puedan mostrar videos como usted lo acaba de mencionar, por favor mándele un correo electrónico al Dr. Mooney.
Ok, gracias.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions?
¿Alguna otra pregunta?
Oh, yo no tengo ninguna. Gracias, muchas gracias.
She doesn't have any questions, so it's fine.
So at this point, then I am going to end the meeting. Thank you all for joining. We'll do the same meeting again next Friday and provide updates on information that we know that might have changed since then. Thank you all.
A este punto agradece por la permanencia en la reunión. Le recuerda que el próximo viernes a la misma hora va a tener más actualizaciones y espera contar con su presencia y agradece nuevamente la participación.
Gracias, thank you, bye.
Gracias.